We're
Good
live.
morning. How the heck are you, man? Yeah, good morning. How are you? Gotta
I'm
clean my
good.
glasses. It looks like I went
I'm a little
mudding.
concerned you are
All
delayed, or am I delayed? Are we delayed?
you know, it,
Are you can you
it I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's like your
Oh, no.
responses are really hella delayed.
Still?
I No, we're good now, I think.
God, I hope so. Sweet Jesus. All right. How you Yolanda? All right, so we're having more technical issues like everybody else on earth. And I think Raquel just said that it's hard to love me. So how do you feel? How are you doing today? Is it hard to love me, Sia?
It is it is easy to love you, Mike. It's just hard
That's
to
the right
keep
answer.
loving you. I'm just kidding. Look at that. Look
Oh,
who's on his computer today and not complaining at, why can't you see my comments? And we're like, because you're on your mobile device. And then he's like, well, that's not my fault. That's Chris Malazewski. Walk tall, my friend. That is one of our sponsors,
that's
Walking Tall Movement.
that's my northern brother. Yeah, me
Here's
and
another
him.
one.
Yeah. Oh, hi Nicole. Good to see you. Um, golly, look, Andrew is here, man. Fantastic. I saw
Oh,
Andrew
Andrew
on
did good. Look
yeah,
at
on
that.
Raquel's show. Yeah, super guy. Man, had lots of fun in the comments. Thank you, Andrew. Um, yeah, man. Uh, lots of good stuff. So many things. I cannot believe it's November. Oh, wow. And this has been official. I mean, the official almost 1 year of the Hounds. Wow, stellar. And so we're gonna do lots of good things. We got lots of great folks. It's just amazing. I don't know what to say. I just I'm baffled. I'm baffled by it all. The amount of people and coaches and friendships and things that are it's amazing. You can't call it a coincidence. It can't be a coincidence. I had a real hard time in life. This weekend, I just struggled with a lot of stuff. You know how stuff piles up. Chris is here. He knows. Walk tall, right? And it happens. However, instead of just dealing with it, in bad ways or stuffing it down, I call Stephanie Delfonso. And I've always seen her. I've read her books. I've done her little, this on the show, but I have never done a full on session, dude. And I don't know what I'm not clucking like a chicken. And matter of fact, I felt great since Saturday to today. And I've never really felt more calm, peaceful. I mean, quite frankly, a lot of that baggage that was in there is gone now, dude. It's like I just dropped 5 million pounds. So, big shout out to Stephanie Delfonso. I will be vulnerable and discuss that next week for a few minutes because I want other people to see that. If there's something of value to help you get unstuck and do good things in the world, I don't care what you think. I'm going to share it because people need it. So, thank you, Stephanie. And gosh, all the hounds, man. You guys, even if you people say, "Well, what did I do?" You're there, man. Your good morning text or "Hey, good job," or that sometimes it's all people need, right? See ya. I mean, it doesn't
Yep.
take much.
It it doesn't take much, but it takes effort. I think that's the big problem. Um, and it's I think the mental exercise it takes if you really truly want to change is more than just one session. So I'm so glad you had a breakthrough with her, but it's an ongoing thing. It's kind of like it's the
Oh yeah,
equivalent of like, oh my gosh, I just refrained from eating like 2,000, calories today. Woohoo, I'll do 4,000 next week or whatever, right? It's like you got
right.
to keep going with that rush that you felt. And whatever
Right.
techniques she gave you, cuz I know like we all get very anxious days and like right now for me I'm like my patience level has been very very thin as you know. And then
Yeah,
Randy
but
House
it's
and then Randy House says hello, see ya, goodbye, see ya, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm all happy again."
yeah, and it's funny because this whole year being surrounded by these coaches and positivity and people, fighting through their own crap has really led to that. So no, it's not a one and done. It's not a magic bullet, but the culmination of all the things that I did back in the day really, I met Romita and she said some stuff and it opened me up to more Stephanie. There's this chain reaction that is just phenomenal. And it wouldn't have happened on my own. It wouldn't have happened if I was looking for it. It happened because I had the right people around me, right? They also want to grow. They also don't bury their head in the sand. And you're free to do that. You're not shamed. Everybody's like, yeah, I've been there. I know somebody. So guys, pat yourselves on the back. Big deal to be surrounded by such great people, and we're all making money and doing business at the same time. So applaud everybody here. I love you guys. Nobody's perfect, but we have good intentions, like you were saying, man. So um, I don't know anything to add or
I was gonna say I'm ready to roll the intro because we're only like 5 minutes in already to the show.
okay,
Let's do it, my
let's
friend.
do it.
Are you looking to grow your business and your mindset alongside a fun and awesome pack? Grab a chair and your favorite beverage and join Mike Ashabraner, the business mechanic, and his win-win network for the Hounds of Business Happy Hour.
Yay! Hey, you know what's cruel right now? It's really hot. I don't know. It got to 80 in Kentucky in dadgum November, which is not that common. And I've got my fan going, but it's about this close from actually reaching me. So I'm over here like trying to get some air, and I'm about to die. So I've been through worse.
That's okay. That's okay. You know what's gonna cheer you up and what's gonna make you like really smile and put that smile on your face? Talking about our good friend
I was gonna.
Nicole.
I thought you were gonna say my Joe Dirt shirt today, but no, not
Oh,
that.
Joe
Oh
Dirt
yeah,
shirt. I'm not
Nicole.
gonna comment about that.
You don't like my Joe Dirt shirt. All right. So yeah, Nicole, she is working on the next anthology. If you're wanting to get on this, you got to move now. Okay, drafts have to be in soon. I think it's don't. I'm not going to speak for it, but it's getting near time, maybe 2 weeks or so. Um, this is what caught my attention on this one was that it's a note to your family, friends, and your legacy. It's you writing about your legacy and the message you want to send out into the world. Uh, I wish I paid more attention. But I love this. I want to get involved with this, and I wanted to make sure that folks knew that. So, Nicole, I think she's in the comments. Usually is. She'll pop in. There she is, and reach out to her, DM her, ask her about it. This is probably what 18,000th book in what 6 months or something crazy. So, but she is a pro. The team on this. There's great people with big hearts into this. It's a great way, especially people who are trying to go, public speaking and get into those routes. Just check with her. She's a great person. And I remember, do you remember back in February when she was recovering from her injury and she didn't know what to do and she was new to the Hounds and she's like, "Well, Mike, one day I think I might want to write and maybe get paid for it." Yeah, it didn't take her long to start figuring stuff out, dude. She just went nuts, and I love that because that's the ecosystem of the Hounds. You go in there and make the most out of it. So, Nicole, love your attitude, love your spirit. Now you have an audio room on Sunday mornings. I mean, there's just so much going on there. So, that's what happens when you say yes to stuff. When you say yes to opportunities and have courage before confidence, because now she has both, and we love her to death. So go check Nicole out, ask her about it. Um, you won't be sorry, man. All right,
Yeah. So if I could just make one comment here, let me pull this, take it
yeah.
up. I absolutely love that this book is coming together. One of the reasons why I went into the business that I did, Mike, was because I took up genealogy, and what struck me was after the great grandparents, you become a birth date and a death date and a name. There's typically no history of who you are or anything like that. And so this book to me is such a love letter to your legacy, to your family, to your friends, to with everyone that you love. And so I just want to give shout out to Nicole Angai Galindo for that because it resonates with me. It gives me the feels. And I know Mike has problems understanding that despite everything, I actually have feels. Yes,
You
yes,
do have
Mike.
feels.
I do get in the feels. So anyway, check it out, you guys. It's coming. And shout out to you, Nicole. We love you, girl. So next person I know you really wanted to give some extra love to is our good friend.
Yeah, our good friend Tanya Epperhart, and there's Michael Carr over there. Love the hair, man. I'm jealous of the hair. He doesn't need a hat, but yeah, brand face. I met them back in April. They saw the Hounds from a distance. They love the Hounds, and I'm glad they did because again, you don't know what you don't know. I mean, like I'm not good at a lot of things. Most of us are not good at everything. And they saw something in the Hounds and what I was doing. And so hey, my brand. You remember the two rednecks with the pink words I had on? Like,
Mhm.
they're just great people. They're great-hearted people. They know their stuff. They're top level, and not just they help me, they've helped many other folks, in and outside the Hounds. I mean, they have a great podcast. They're always looking for people with great stories. So if you have a great story to tell and to share with the rest of the world, get that visibility. Reach out to them. Brand face session. Um, it's real simple. If you're a coach, consultant, expert, and again, life-changing message, I do recommend you attend one of those calls, okay? Usually it's a group call. There's small groups, people who are trying to grow. Uh, but as a fan of the Hounds, you can bypass the usual screening process and just go ahead and book the dadgum call. So, okay, so you get to skip line for being here on a dadgum 7 p.m. Eastern on a Wednesday. You are welcome. This is something I love being on this show. This was very well done, professional, seen by good people. These folks are awesome. So brandfacesession.com. Skip line. Who doesn't love that? All right. So lots more to come from them and love having them in the Hounds, man. They're the official branding company of our Hounds. And then, oh, I can't steal your thunder. This is you look, you light up like a Christmas tree because this guy is something else, isn't he? Go ahead. Go ahead. Look at you. Oh,
It's King Mike.
King Mike.
King Mike. King Mike. King Mike. So, okay, look, guys, we actually have a lot to do of collaboration. Talk about collaboration. This is someone that leads with the heart and authenticity. So, Mike King, he has his own Mike King Biz Radio in affiliation with ESPN Richmond, 106.1 FM. And basically, he's got a business based show on ESPN Radio, which cracks me up. He's got a very interesting story in history. But either way, he saw the vision of the Hounds community. So when we talked to him about business bets and buddies, he was like, I'm on board. How do I help propel you guys, amplify your message and the fact that you're going to talk about football, or as I call it, foosball or fool's ball.
Foosball.
Or fool ball, because 90% of us don't even know anything about football. But we have a fantasy league within the Hounds of Business community, and we all happen to be content creators. It's a blast. Tuesday nights we live stream it, and it actually airs on ESPN Richmond on Friday morning. So during morning commute. So check it out, you guys. Shout out Mike King, you guys. He's really an awesome guy.
Oh yeah, and thanks again, Mike King, for
So
having us on again. Uh, Good old boy had us on again,
yes,
which is funny because I didn't really think about it. Sia's over here like in transit and doing stuff, and then she thinks it's a meeting and it's an interview. And thank God we're professionals. But man, Mike makes it so easy. I mean, the guy just pushes up everybody, highlights the best people around, and we're super excited to work with a guy like this. This is what it's all about, man. I mean, I'm like a poor kid waking up at Santa's workshop every day, even with Sia, because she is in her fields, and that's good. So, all right, now go back.
yeah, I am in my feels. Yes, and I felt really bad because I was in the car on my way to a brunch with my niece, and yeah, so I did the interview over my phone, which is like one of the things as an audio person, like I was very pained and very sorry I did that to you, Mike, but thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, so next one is Soaring Profits. Love these guys. They are another. They're I like to say they're Canuckians. They are also part of that fantasy league that I was telling you about. They are huge advocates and supporters of all the other content creators in the Hounds of Business community. So I did want to give them a shout out. They every Thursday 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and also they just launched a financial show. So anyone that knows Pat, he's not just a good-looking guy. He actually is he's a I don't know what are your peoples called, Mike? Like he does all this like he looks like global economics and he talks about how that relates to the markets and all this good stuff and interesting guy. But hey, he's not just a pretty face. They're soaring profits.
Yeah, it's a boot to
Shout
get
out.
Canadian on Thursday at 9, man. Go check it out. It's always interesting. Again, really great stories of people, and it's captivating. It is worth being up at 9 Eastern, man. So let's see. Are we ready? Are we ready for our
Yeah.
special people? All right, well, good. Just bring them on up, man. This ain't the Ritz Carlton. This not.
Oh wait, I do want to give one other person a shout out just because it makes me like just want to embarrass them.
Oh yeah.
So She is not doing a show this Saturday. I want to make an announcement. There is not a show this Saturday. Repeat, not a show this Saturday. So those are going to miss her. Sorry. But I did want to give a shout out personally to Raquel. It is her first time ever that she's not going to be doing it this year. And it's going to be about a year anniversary. Good job, girl. 1 year and you flake. What? I'm kidding. No, unfortunately, she has a really busy schedule for Saturday. Could not do it. But shout out to Raquel Flores, Connection Corner. She is on everybody's show, and oftentimes she backs me up. So for those that are curious, she is all about true, authentic connections as well, which is why she is part of the Hounds business community and why we love her so much. So shout out to Raquel because she's amazing. So I wanted to embarrass her because she's like, but I don't have a show. Don't care. We're gonna do it. Oh, wait, she did say, she just sent me a note. My next show will be on November 18th with Reggie from the Mental Health Conference. Oh, Reggie. Cool. Reggie's a really cool guy. So a wonderful person that she met at the conference that was actually brought on by that we were invited to from Chris Malazewski, who's in the comments right there with the Walking Tall movement. Huge mental health advocate organization. They're all about sharing the vulnerability and strength and strength in vulnerability. So guys, walk tall with us. Check them out, Walking Tall movement. So that's it. We ran long.
That's okay. That's okay. That's long. Nobody cares. They people grown. They go to bed if they want to, right? This is Hounds. Hey, by the way, this subject couldn't be more timely and just oh gosh, comments, man, make comments, talk to each other, network. Everybody talks about daggum viral post and content. I'm talking about viral comments. Make it happen today. Talk to each other, man. Ask questions. Ask the guest questions. This is your show. And don't remind them they're giving away free stuff because they won't think about it, right? That's why I do it because I get free stuff. So bring them up.
Exactly.
I bring these ladies up now. I can't
All
wait.
right. Bring up these beautiful, wonderful ladies. Hello, hello.
Hey.
Wait, I gotta do the applause.
There they are. Is it that clappy noise? It just
yes. How come you never hear it?
Because I'm special and technology hates me anyway. I was fine in my Etch-a-Sketch in my bad Wi-Fi in my tree, and then Sia comes along, and now look, I'm all technology. So, all right, hey, how are you ladies doing? Christine, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'm super excited to be here with all these authentic people in the Hounds of Business.
And I just now got to meet your friend Sierra, right?
Yeah.
That's your friend Sam Browski. Did I mess it up or Broski?
Nope, that was perfect actually.
Sambrosky. Okay, good. Look, even a blind squirrel catch a nut every now and then. This guy, right? I needed a win. All right. So, and I needed to make Sia smile because she has been just so busy, dude. I love this lady. She shows up for me when she shouldn't. So, hey, yeah, go ahead.
You said her name right. I'm just I'm proud of you right now. Dude. Like, like a mommy's like, oh my God, he said his alphabet. He actually said a name right.
He said it like perfectly too, which rarely happens. Most people really can butcher it, but one time, look at that.
No, dude, I've been a broken speaking spell all my life, but today I've been typing like just slamming the keyboard like it's a piano in the daggum group coaching today. So anyway, Christine, let me introduce everybody to you because hopefully they know who you are. You help small business owners create a one-pager, right? Customer strategy blueprint, and you align their offer and marketing with their ideal client, right? So what their ideal clients really want and need. You're a qualitative researcher. Is that correct? Tell us a little bit about you.
That's correct. So I've got 25 years experience, giving away my age now, but I started in advertising, big advertising agencies, writing creative briefs, and it's all about understanding your ideal customers and how you can connect with them emotionally, authentically. Then I moved into branding, innovation, and then qualitative in-depth research, because guess what? All the big brands use qualitative in-depth research to understand their customers, to get under the skin of them, get to know them really, really well. You talk about this in your course, Mike, around understanding pain points, understanding beliefs, understanding behaviors. This is what it's all about. When we understand people really well, we can connect with them. So that's what I'm all about. And I've done that for big brands for a very long time. But in the last couple of years, I've created an offer for small businesses. And it's all about aligning that marketing and offer with their real needs and wants and making it simple, because we can get overwhelmed. So that's what it's all about. And that means that when we understand our target market deeply, we can create a unique value proposition that completely aligns with it. And then we make sure it comes to life in the product and service, in the brand positioning, in the overall message promise, and in the customer experience, so everything hangs together. And when we go out to market, we sing from the same hymn sheet all the way through. So everything we say is consistent, single-minded, and therefore it will actually have impact so they can connect with us, and we'll have persuasion power that way.
Yeah, see how smart this woman, and she still hangs out with me. What? Wow, look how lucky I am. Gee whiz. Okay, before Randy House, and then if we say his name 3 times, Mark Reed comes out and asks your accent. You got to explain it because everybody wants to know how you know they're coming.
Okay, so a little bit about me. I grew up in Denmark, Scandinavia, not Holland. I grew up in Copenhagen, if you've heard of that little town. It's a beautiful little town, but it's very cold there. I grew up there, but I always wanted to travel. When I was a little kid, I had a little globe in my room, and I watched that globe around all the countries around the world, and I thought, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to travel. So in late 80s, I went to high school in America for a year as an exchange student. I had a perfect American accent, believe it or not. Came back to Denmark, lost it all. Went to South Africa and completely gained a different kind of accent mixed up with my Danish and whatever. Then I moved to London and learned the English a little bit, never caught on to the English accent. And then I moved to Australia 18 years ago. And then I met my husband, who is American. So it's completely messed up my accent.
You only missed 2 countries there, I think. Like, and that's what I was like. Oh, I'm a huge Days of Thunder fan, right? You know, and Nicole Kidman with her accent in that movie, like that's what it reminded me of. And then you're like, you're kind of right. It is Australia a little bit, but it's also a whole bunch of other stuff.
It's just a mix.
And yeah, when I get back to Sia, you got something to say. I could tell. Look at her face. It's gonna be good too. No? Oh,
No.
okay. She's just happy.
I'm trying to like read people's comments to like present here in a second. I'm trying to produce a show here. Don't mind this face, this mug.
Pay no attention to the Sia behind the curtain, like Wizard of Oz. All right. So all right, let me go because I can't even remember how we met. So we'll have to embarrass me in a minute on that one, Christine. You just came out of nowhere, and I almost felt bad because it was one day I looked over and I was like, there's a person over here love bombing me and the Hounds. I don't know. It took me too damn long to realize it, right? But that's what I like about you. You didn't do it for any other reason than you just wanted to. And you realize even as slow as I am, I'd figure it out, right? So that's it. How could I not? And then now, because of you, the compound effect, right? This whole train reaction is Sierra. So Sierra, how are you today? And let me see if I got yours right. Intuitive holistic strategist, and what you do is guide business owners who have really suffered a significant loss or transition. Did I get that right?
That is correct.
All right, tell us about you in a better way than I did. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you want the good stuff or the boring stuff?
You could start with boring and then ease them into it so they don't leave real quick. Yeah.
Okay, that's probably a good idea. That's kind of how I transitioned into where I am right now. Anyway, I started with the boring stuff and then I got into the really weird and interesting stuff. So I started as a business consultant 20 years ago and worked with all different kinds of businesses all around the world, different sizes, phases, industries. And I had this string of businesses that I got contracts with a bunch of Gold's Gym owners, actually, in the fitness industry, helping them to do some restructuring and merger and acquisition stuff. And it got me into holistic health and understanding like the mind, body, and all that. And so I went back to school for holistic health and counseling. And from there, I started a coaching practice where I wanted to focus on helping people really put balance into their life and understand how all these different areas, integrated. And I was doing the consulting and the coaching separately. And then, so that was like more than 10 years ago now. And then I had this whole sort of spiritual awakening. I understood that I had gifts, intuitive and mediumship gifts all my life. It made a lot of sense then because I had some really strange and weird experiences that I just thought were my imagination. But at the end of the day, I realized that so many of the successes I had had with both coaching clients and my business consultant clients were largely because I was getting information that I'm smart, but I wasn't that smart. It was kind of genius. And it would pan out and it would get them tremendous results. And so I also had gone back and gotten my heart really called me to work with, in particular, children that had gone through grief, and worked as a volunteer facilitating that in my free time. And I just have this passion for working with people when they're really in their hardest times. It sounds super weird, but I actually enjoy and feel really blessed to be able to hold space with people and know how to not be awkward about it. So 2 years ago, I decided to blend all those crazy things together. And so that's what I do now. I work with the business owners that have had the major loss and transition, and that can show up in various ways for sure. That could be divorce, empty nest, you're estranged from your family, all different things create grief for us. But if you've had one of those major events and you found yourself feeling like you're just a little bit lost and really, we think it's midlife crisis. Usually it's just that you're starting to question what you've built your sense of identity on. So we'll work on that stuff first, and then we tweak our business to realign to this new version that we discover for ourselves, because we are the vessel for our business. So whatever is happening with you is going to show up there.
No, I love that. And again, we're talking about authenticity. I mean, and I always joke around. I'm like, that someone's going to do a course on how to be authentic in 90 days or your money back or some crap, right? It's coming, dude. I thought about it, but look, I'm too authentic to do that. If you take away my honesty and intention, you just got a cheap shirt and a camo hat laying in a chair, right? So, and that's what I love about you, because um, both of you ladies, you both come from different backgrounds, but the common theme amongst us and most people is there's some kind of life event or catalyst or depression,
Mm.
right? Or, something that unfortunately for me has to be really bad, right? Like when things are good, I like to keep them the same. But in calamity and struggle, I usually pay attention much better. So when you're from your backgrounds, okay, Christine, what was it that really, because you seem a lot more happy now, than you were when we talked about your past and things. What was that catalyst moment that you started being yourself? Like, because you were completely, in my opinion, you were completely happy as you. And that's why we gravitated to you. So what was that moment or moments in your life that made you just say, screw it, I'm gonna be me?
Well, it's a number of things, and I must say it didn't happen overnight. Yeah, unfortunately, it happened over a
Yeah.
long time period. But basically, I burned out in my career 8 years ago. I didn't even know what burnout was. I had no idea what it was. I just knew one day I couldn't go to work, so I went in and I resigned. I had no money in the bank. I had no plan. I just couldn't do it anymore. But I liked what I was doing, so I'm like, well, I got to make money, yeah. And so from there on, I was like, okay, how do I work for myself, and what's going on? So I got some coaches. Not all of them were great, but eventually we find the right people. And basically, I've been on what I thought was building a business was actually a personal development journey. And that's what it's been all about. And anyone who comes into business and building their own business, most of us will be going on a personal development journey. And it usually comes from something didn't work in our life and something had to change. And for me, it was like, I was basically one of those people. I guess I was fairly popular, but that was because I always wanted validation. I had no self-esteem, no self-worth, and I was always seeking people validation, and that burned me out, because that is such an unhealthy place to live, and it's certainly not authentic. It's always about what can the other people do, or what can I do to be what people need me to be. Yeah. And that's something we grow up with as a childhood or whatever. So there's things that, when we're young, that obviously makes us who we are, and teaches us how to survive, I guess, for a better word. And as we become adults, we just keep doing that, and it just stopped working for me. And with that, I started really learning about myself, and that's not overnight. That's been 8 years in progress. Yeah, really figuring out who am I, and then stop the BS, which is why I love Sierra, because we had a chat about this when I met her the first time as well. Stop the BS about trying to be what everyone else wants you to be, and just go, okay, you know what? I am who I am. I'm going to learn to love myself fully. I'm going to learn to validate myself fully. I'm going to learn to turn that inner critic into my greatest supporter. And I'm going to be there for me, because you know what? When we're trying to get validation, we're always playing a game, and it is exhausting, and it just had to stop. Yeah. So, and I guess the last 4 years, I was going pretty well in my business with big businesses. And then I pretty much lost my contacts because they were retrenched or moved on during the lockdowns in Australia. And here I am. Then I had an accident with my horse. And suddenly I was sitting at square one again in the last 4 years, as in, what do I do now? Business is gone. Lockdowns are happening. I'm got a knee issue because of an injury, and I got to start over. But and then literally rebuilding a business from scratch. But guess what? It turned out that I had time to do what I wanted to do, which was to work with small businesses. I had time to create something that was me, that based on what I had learned from speaking to small businesses in the last 6 or 7 years. And I used all that research that I'd done informally to create something I thought they really, really needed. And then I thought, well, how do I sell myself? I don't have the resources. I don't have the contacts. So let's try social media, yeah? And put myself out there. But as you guys know, it's a sea. There's so many people there. And I'm like,
yeah,
I need to find the people that I connect with, like find the people energetically that I resonate with. And I guess what Sarah is saying, I became spiritual on my personal journey. I did not expect that. I didn't grow up spiritual. And the personal journey took me on a spiritual journey. And that's where I am now in terms of going, you know what, this is about my journey first and foremost. This is about me expressing me the best I can and finding like-minded people. And, you know, you said, where did we meet? I think we met on LinkedIn about a year ago. You start liking me. You did to me what I did to you. We were doing the same strategy, which is, you know, just being nice to each other.
Yeah, and the lockdowns, man, over there have been like really hard. I didn't realize how hard the lockdowns around those areas in Australia have been. It really almost devastating to lots. And I want people to stop and even ask the question, if you're comfortable, guys. Or what you said is extremely inspiring and encouraging to me, because you said, "Hey, I won and I was happy and made money and and then I lost it, and then I made it back and I was happy and okay, and then I lost it." And you just keep happening, and most people would just start drinking or something, right? It's real easy to get in maladaptive behaviors. Yet here you are with a smile on your face saying, "Shit, I built it 4 times, I built it a 5th time," and you're finding joy in that, dude. That you can't get more authentic than that. And by the way, and I want to ask Sierra what she thinks. The personal journey. See, I used to think in December, because I did the same thing you did. I just said, screw this, I can't do it anymore. And I put insulation in my shed and I said goodbye to the past business life. And then I went, oh crap, I gotta make money somehow. Like, I no backup plan. I don't recommend it. Uh, but I did it and I never looked back. And gosh, this year, almost a year, has been fantastic. It's been hard as hell, but it's been fantastic. So my point is, Sierra, I thought it was a business and marketing problem. And yeah, I had some stuff to learn, but I quickly realized it was a personal development spiritual issue in most things. Because if you don't have the what C has been preaching to me for a year, right? The mental fortitude and the self-belief and all these things that a lot of us lack, you can't execute. That's why it's not you that sucks. It's not the sales program that sucks. It's you don't believe in you, and nobody else is going to believe it either. So what do you think about that? Because that's your wheelhouse, Sarah.
Oh yeah, that's 100% spot on. I mean, you know, I think even Christine and I have talked about this together. The whole idea that whether people understand it, can identify it, consciously know it or not, they resonate when someone is authentic. And even though you might think you're showing up just as yourself, if you've not been able to work through and truly identify and feel solid, feel centered, feel grounded and confident in who you are. And I'm not talking about like in a big showy way. I'm talking about just knowing it for yourself, like just being like, "Yup, that's a hell yes, that's a hell no." And being able to discern that for yourself without it being your motivations, without your drivers not coming from old programming, the stuff that Christine was just talking about, like wanting validation, wanting approval from other people. You know, so many of us started life of, I'd say, our generation and older than us in particular, we were still all pretty much raised with like, children are seen and not heard. don't waste your money on that. We don't have time for that. You've got chores to do. Like, anytime we wanted to play and explore, and that's how kids discover who they are. And that's how you learn what your preferences are and what your perspective on the world is. And when you don't have that, when you're told you sit here and you do this until this time and then you get up, and we're in a really rigid space. A lot of us had homes where we weren't allowed to feel or think or act out loud in ways that we really wanted to, that were inheriting, that were inherently who we were. We learned to quiet that. And so I think from a business owner perspective, what often happens is that as soon as something in you starts to question, do I really believe that for myself? Am I really this person because that's who I am, or because that's what got me the love of my father, or, the approval of my mother, or whatever that story is that's running in the background for people? And so it's somewhere the authenticity starts to become something in you that is now askew, right? And I think as soon as that shifts, we see it in our business. All of a sudden, it's like all the tactics that we were using, all the stuff that's been successful and worked well for us, all of a sudden it stops working.
Yeah.
And we don't know why. We don't know why. And we'll blame it on the economy and all this other stuff. But what I think it really is that you're starting to question who you really are, what your real authenticity is. And everyone around you starts to get uncertain. They feel it, whether they can, pinpoint it and to know that that's what it is or not.
Yeah, no.
I have got.
Yeah, Sia, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
Well,
we're gonna do that for real.
No.
Okay,
Bugs Bunny
ladies,
and Daffy Duck over here.
Gentlemen.
Yes, lady Sia, the lady Sia, please go.
Well, if I highlighted you, that means it's your turn to talk. But
That's
okay.
right. I should pay attention. No, I'm just saying, I absolutely noticed that when you get your own proverbial shit together, then other people seem to be better. I was like, wow, everybody's acting nice and like they should be. And I'm like, no, it was me. It wasn't everybody else changed. It was me. Like, I'm not giving off that vibe and that negative energy and all of this stuff that's going on. And so, like, I've experienced that. And let me go to the lady Sia, because I know it's a good one. Go ahead.
No, well, I think it's really funny that you should mention that, Sierra, is when I was in my corporate life, had a lot of responsibility, had a team of 40 folks I had to work with for this one account. And I grew up Asian in a household where you always made sure your guests felt welcome. So every time I'd be in a meeting, in a very high profile meeting, I would make sure we had, snacks or coffee or whatever. And I'm running around setting the room up. Mind you, I owned the account. I'm the account manager. But I was running around doing all this stuff because I was told this is how you make people feel welcome. And it just comes natural. Like, and I know I've been given feedback before of like fretting over other people's events where they're like, dude, you're the guest. Why are you cleaning up the dishes and whatnot?
Right.
It wasn't until one time it was a, let's say, C-suite meeting. I am running this meeting, but I'm helping out, like trying to make sure everything's kosher. And one of the executives of our client didn't know who I was, walked in, and he kind of just wagged his finger at me. And he's like, yeah, I'll take a coffee, cream, sugar, blah, blah, blah. And I just looked at him and I'm like, the F, dude. Like in the back of my mind, just the way he said it, because he literally just like wagged his finger at me. And I'm just kind of like looking at him like, bitch, you can get your own damn coffee. But I was like, you know what? I'm okay. I'll just get the coffee for you. My boss saw me do it. And he pulled me aside afterwards, discreetly. By the way, best boss ever. He did talk to me afterwards. He goes, hey, I saw it in your eyes. He goes, I know you. You didn't have to do that. And I was like, I know. I was just trying to be nice. But ever since that moment in time, I understood there's a time and place to be that accommodating person. There's a time and place. I'm pitching a multi-million-dollar deal and I'm sitting there getting coffee. It already put me in a lesser position negotiation wise from accountability, respect, etc. Right. So I get what you're saying. And I am, and people could argue, I'm probably a very strong-willed personality. even someone like me has these types of moments and experiences. And I just want to emphasize with everybody, everyone goes through it, and it's not you on an island by yourself. Like, I'm pretty fracking comfortable, probably borderline arrogant. I get that. But you know what? Even then, those little moments where you're just like, well, shit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's just throw it out there.
Well,
And
I
it's like
think
if it's like we're having to hustle for our worth. Yeah, we're hustling for who we are, and we've got to stop hustling. Yeah, because we're good enough as we are. We are all unique. We're all special. We do not have to hustle for it. And if we have to hustle, it is not our people.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, it comes straight. And by the way, one of the soaring prophets over here must have had the same family that I had, because they like children are to be seen and never heard, right? Like, oh my gosh, I think so many of us heard that stuff.
yeah.
But here's the deal. Again, your head and your subconscious and what's in your heart, man, when that stuff aligns, and that's what the walking tall is all about, just helping people get unstuck and go. Nobody wants to look at the pain and crap inside of you, but you should, because it's more painful to walk around life half, cocked and in trouble, or upsetting people and always missing the mark, because you're not grounded, you're not centered. And because we're all trained to hold it in, it sucks. Well, okay. Does Mark have a question? Oh, well, dadgummit, if Mark has a question, we got answers, baby.
We gotta stop the show just for Mark.
Oh yeah, yeah. Zen sandwich. We got.
And the fact he has to say legit question.
Yeah, because he knows it. We don't ignore the rest of it. All right. So, legit question for the panel: does authenticity mean being 100% honest all the time? If so, what is that complete honesty? What if that complete honesty might hurt someone else's feelings? I feel like he's talking about me. You never hurt my feelings, Mark, dude. You always make me smile, baby. So who wants to take this one first? Yeah, don't jump at once, ladies.
I mean, I will. I got no problem. So, I think that there's a difference between being brutally honest and speaking with honesty. And so I can absolutely say to someone, oh, hell no, I do not want to do that. Not going to do that. But there's a nicer way to say that. And I think it's about understanding that our truth, our needs, what we want for ourselves and what we're working towards is every bit as important as being able to be nice to the other person. And so I am always honest. Do I find a soft way to deliver that honesty sometimes? Absolutely. So I don't think it means that you have to just, slash and burn with truth or your truth about something. But I think there's absolutely a tactful and respectful way to be able to deliver something honestly. And I have to deliver hard, honest truths to people all the time. And I know that some people can handle it much differently than others. So sometimes I can be a little more direct and a little more no nonsense about it. Sometimes they need that. And then other times you got to massage it a little, but not to make it dishonest.
Yeah.
I think that's an EQ. I think it's an EQ question right there on how you respond. I mean, Christine, I see you really nodding.
She's excited. Yeah.
I can see her nodding. I'm like, oh, girl.
Well, I am Danish, which typically is a very direct language, yeah. So I have learned over years, especially when I lived in the UK, where you cannot speak anything directly. Yeah, I was learning the hard way that there is another way of communicating. And for me, what I've learned is it's about communicating what's relevant to them, rather than, and in a way that they are seen and heard, whilst I still stand in my truth in terms of where are my boundaries. And boundaries, this has been a big thing for me to learn. And I think if you want to be authentic, boundaries are really important. But like what Sierra is saying, it doesn't mean hurting others per se. It means just standing for what we are about. And yes, sometimes people will still be upset, but then we also need to understand that that's about them. If we haven't put them down or slashed them, then it's really about their stuff. Yeah. And this is why we as humans are not meant to live in isolation because we learn from each other. Yeah. And when we get people like the Hounds together, who are all such authentic people, it's like bees to honey, because you can actually relax because you don't feel like you have to put a show on. Yeah. And you don't have to worry about it.
Again, maturity and growing in, being authentic means that, if you're doing it right, you're becoming your best self. And so when you're on the other end of that, when you're the one doing something that's not nice, or not considered, not polite to the other person, right? And to recognize that and go, oh, right, it's me. Like, I have to work on me, or I have to, or apologize, right? What somebody does at that point is water under the bridge. If I make a mistake and apologize, and you don't accept that, I gotta let that shit go. We're the only being in existence that punishes itself a million times over one mistake. The same thing over and over. Dogs, once the dog gets it and gets a newspaper, he's done with it. Like, he's on sniffing something. But no, me, I got to keep on beating myself up every day and hanging on to it. So, uh, amazing, great question and great answers, lady. I mean, anybody got anything to add?
Actually, I'd like to point out Stephen Ang's comment here. Authenticity without regard for others is insensitivity. I love that, because that means, again, you can be authentic to who you are, but if it's self-centered,
be tactful.
You're probably gonna you'd be a little bit more tactful on it. And I just love Isabel commented on here. She said, being honest doesn't mean you have to say everything you think.
Yeah, not
And that's coming from my female twin, Isabel. Yeah, me and her, we get that, right? We like to say stuff straight up. But you're right. Sometimes it hurts people. Read the room, right? Go ahead, Sierra.
I was just gonna say, to bounce off of what Sia just said, I think the truth of the matter is that if you are really in your depth authentic, and you don't have a sense of that ego, there's no arrogance there.
Yeah.
So if somebody's coming across as self-centered, the reality of the situation is that they're not authentic yet. And what they're doing is building up some walls and trying to get the bravado and get the validation and make themselves seem and feel bigger than they actually are. Not that they're not intrinsically that big, but they don't feel like they are. They haven't gotten that they really have that level of worth. Because if they are, you don't need to be arrogant.
Michael Gale is probably Michael Gale, big old dude, right? Military survivalist, does martial arts. And then we're doing Pilates together, and he's quoting third grade poetry. That's a guy who has nothing to prove, right? Like, he's comfortable with him. He's, I love that, dude. That's sort of like, everybody's like, you got a bro, what's it, bromance? I'm like, yeah, because that's a cool dude. Like, you see machismo everywhere, man. It's like skunk spray. And then all of a sudden you see a dude who's like a Hallmark card with legs. You're like, hey, that's refreshing. And again, that's what's so special. A handful of us got together. We didn't fit in anywhere. And look what happened. Look at all the people that said, yeah, that's my pack, that's my tribe. And it's not we're the only ones. We're just, we have people in multiple different communities. I don't care. It's not a prison. It's not really a cult. Not yet. We don't have land yet, but we're getting it. So, what do you think? Let me ask you a question, because AI is on the emerge, right? It's been 11 months. I remember seeing this, AI, what is this, Chat GPT? And now it's like everywhere. Major corporations are shoving it down our faces, and all this stuff's happening. And there's never been a better time to have clear authenticity, because when you're doing business, you can't be inconsistent, because that's where most people fail. They're like, well, I got this right. Yeah, but then you look weird. It's like, if I showed up in a suit and spoke proper English, oh no, like, that's not what we signed up for, right? Who is this? So what do you all think about what is, AI? Like, is it eroding some of our authenticity, or like, what is your take on it? This is Sia's wheelhouse. She should be smiling right now.
So I think, like you, Mike, that when AI came out, it's not necessarily something I gravitate towards, because I'm not great with technology. I'm a people's person, yeah. But I thought, here's a great opportunity, yeah, because AI is, everyone's got to flock to it. I'm like, and we live in a world of duality, yeah. So it's a polarity. So if one things go up like AI and it feels very robotic, what's going to come is a trend and a need for authenticity, yeah. So I'm like, well, this is great, because now this is going to make me even more popular. Well, not popular, but this is going to make me more relevant, because as AI grows, we're going to flock towards people who are authentic and in coming up and showing up. And I think for me, it's not that AI is wrong per se to use, it's just that I can see if you're using it. We notice it, and then I go, well, why would I bother with you if you're just an AI responding to my chat? I'm not going to build a relationship with you because I can't build a relationship with a robot, and the robot does not have energy like a human. And I can feel the energy in people when I see them on LinkedIn even, yeah? And that's what I gravitate towards. So for me, it's like an opportunity to come home to be, just be yourself and show up, but it requires you to show up, which takes time, and it requires you to engage with people for real, yeah? And which is why I love the Hounds of Business.
I'm dying. I'm dying because I've said this a million times and you cracked up. I said, listen, it's going to happen. I'm going to be on my live stream talking to somebody and they're not going to know what the heck I'm talking about because I haven't been really talking to them all these months. I've been talking to their damn robot and that's going to be really embarrassing, right? It's going to be very inauthentic. And again, my take on it, I love what you said. I agree. It's not bad or good, right? It's like a doorstop, man. It's just there. Sometimes I can use it, sometimes I can't. Like it can be an aid and a guide. It's a tool to me.
Exactly.
I,
It's a
I
tool.
don't need it. But here's the thing: a lot of people are so crazy. It looks like they're using it as a brain replacement. Like somebody wrote a post, like a comment back to me. Like it would be like me, like speaking. Yeah, it's like I turned into Dr. CJ, and you're like, come on, dude. Like, who wrote this for you? Like, I don't even hide the fact when somebody said, "Hey, Mike, your post was great today." Yeah, it was probably Nicole or Raquel helped me with it. Like, we know this. It's no reason to hide it. I learned.
No need for
But I don't.
AI. You got those two.
Well, exactly. But what do you think, Sierra, what do you think the balance act is when we're out here on LinkedIn and social media and we're face to face and we're just communicating, whatever channel you're using? You know, how do I think it's good to open doors, it's good to break the brain fog, but then you should do you at that point. What do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, just echoing all of that. I mean, I think that there is a time and a place for it. Definitely it can be really great for getting the creative juices going, right? To kind of come up with a great title for something. For me personally, I do use it on occasion, but like as this idea bouncer and my personality, so it comes up with stuff and I'm like, no, that sucks. Like it, and so all it really does is make me come up with something so much better because I'm like, this is boring. That's not right.
Right.
But it gets me out of my own brain when I'm coming up with something. But you can't copy and paste it. And it's just
No.
like you and Christine, like we all keep saying, people will recognize it. And then you just look like a fraud, not like somebody that has trouble writing content, because not everybody's great at it, right? And that's an absolute truth. Some people really, they don't like it, they haven't found their voice, whatever. But it's better to stumble through and have it be somewhat of a disaster. This is why you get Christine, because she'll help you with your messaging. But it's better to be real about it and have it be not so great than to have it be mechanical, because I think people know.
When you're in the relationship
So
business, absolutely. Go ahead.
so just to mention what we backstage before we went live, right? I produce content. I have requirements, for my hosts to make sure that their audio sounds good, the best that they possibly can. They try to, improve their video, all that good stuff. But Christine and I had the same thought, which is this. If you are a corporate entity with what I typically work with, the branding of it requires a certain level of quote perfection.
Yeah.
Corporateness of it all, right? Make sure your messaging is on point, on brand, all that good stuff. But when you are your own entity, when you are developing your personal brand or your business brand as an entity, small business, right? Entrepreneur, solopreneur, etc., there's beauty in imperfection because it makes you more human. And what connects us to each other, what gravitates each other to each other are those subtle little nuances that makes you human. So Isabel posted right here, Chat GPT posts are boring. You want to know why they're boring? Because there's no emotion behind it. There's no daggum. You can literally hear Mike say it with his non sequiturs where you have to go translate. There's no Chat GPT that's going to be able to translate Mike. There isn't. But us humans
We should
are going to be like, oh my gosh, He just went off into the outhouse, analogy and came right back to us, right? Talking about finances. Like that is what makes everyone unique. And I think that's why we connect, right? Not because, not everyone is a Disney princess, right? What's so special about a Disney princess? Do they clean? Because, other than Cinderella, I didn't see any Disney princess cleaning, right? Those types of things. It's just that lack of authenticity. And I just have to say it, if I cannot have my piece. If anyone pitch slaps in a DM, we haven't had a conversation. I'm about to put this guy on blast. He's literally consistently, every 3 days, I get a note from him. And I'm about to drop kick him and I'm about to shame him. Like, guys, do not, like, we hate bots. We all said it. I don't like to get spam. Then why the hell are you using automated bots, chats, in DMs on LinkedIn? Do you not understand you're doing the exact same thing that you can't stand in emails? Like, do you not understand? No one's going to talk to you if you haven't had a conversation with them. And then suddenly, and I love these ones, they don't understand what you do, but they pitch how they can improve your business.
I'm so with you on that. That is the most annoying thing ever. Can I just tell a story? When I put up my first video, I was so scared of putting videos up. And I think a lot of people can relate to this on LinkedIn social media. Putting up a video like, okay, I've got to do it. Yeah. I was, editing it 20 times. It was, put together imperfectly by me, but I put it out there. And all I said, and Mike, you'll love this because you're teaching this in your LinkedIn course. All I said was, hello. And then they had to read more. And I said, this is me, my first video. I'm really scared, but I want to introduce myself. I kid you not, I had 23,000 views overnight. And a lot of people saying, just love it. Good on you.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Love it. Because it's real. It's real. I just don't understand. And it bothers me. You know what I actually saw the other day is someone took, and I get it, if you want to use AI for imagery and whatnot, and this individual is talking about, I'm my authentic self and, blah, 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 blah. You need to be your authentic self. And then they had like this image generated, like it would look cartoony. It wasn't even like a good, like the type that you craft and really, put a lot of good prompts in. This looked like a half-assed like endeavor. And I'm looking at going, do you not understand you're giving mixed messages? You're talking about being authentic to who you are and what you are, but yet you're using an avatar. Like, I just don't understand how people have that level of disconnection.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, Mike, go ahead, talk. I know you're saying you're turning pink. You're holding your tongue.
No, okay. Everybody knows or should know, and you can leave if you don't know. I see no difference between business, dog parks, and dating. And think about if my sweet wife, if I walked up to her and said, "Hey, I tell you what, if you put a little bit more makeup on and drop a few pounds, and I might take you out next week." That's the same thing when somebody shows you your YouTube, and I get this daily, dude. It's multiple, and they don't know you from anything. They stalked me, they broke into my house, and they took my YouTube, and they pointed out all my imperfections. And then at the end of all this shameful action, they go, "Hey, you should hire me. I can help you." Think about it. Again, if I did that, there would be no children or like there would be nothing. I would be in jail because that's just so. Guys, think it through. If you wouldn't do that on the street to your mama, that you probably should reconsider doing it on LinkedIn or any damn where else. It's not good business, and that's the key. You need to find your voice, not Sia's voice, not my country voice. That's what we teach people in the daggum course. It's a marketing sales course centered around LinkedIn, but really it's about understanding yourself, understanding someone else. And if you can understand you and understand them, what the hell's left? It's about letting it go. It's about fostering. And I use Raquel, right? If me and Raquel, she was teaching me salsa dancing, it would be god awful on my end. But it's because you got to think it through and you're awkward. And that's how it is when you learn how to do these things. But all of a sudden one day, yeah, they quit laughing and now they want to dance with you. That's what authenticity is, showing up and using your skills. I guarantee you, ladies, I want you to chime in. If you really work on you and get comfortable with you, I'll bet you my right earlobe that your sales and marketing will go up 5-10% minimum really quickly in most cases, because you're just not going to stop. You're going to stop creeping people out. That's pretty much, I know, because I did it. I've been there. What do y'all think?
I agree. But you know what I think is when we become more authentic in ourselves and get to know ourselves, we're going to be a lot more in resonance with some people, and some people are just not going to like us. We're not going to be the wishy-washy anymore. We're actually going to stand out, and that's a good thing. Yeah, we want some people to not necessarily like us that much, but some people are going to love us, and that's the energetic connection. Because as much as I've been marketing for 25 years, the key thing is we as humans are energetic beings, and we connect with each other energetically. And that is in a split second that it happens, even online. I had one chat with you, Mike. We were when we had our first one-on-one. Within 5 minutes, you had me laughing, yeah?
Right.
And we just laughed for 30 minutes, and we didn't really have a conversation about anything. We just had a chat, yeah, about I don't even know what, but it was funny.
Yeah, and you're easy. You laugh easily, so this was a win-win, like from the get-go, dude. I love that shit. I didn't have to try hard. You just laughing, but again, you don't want to be liked by everybody. You don't want to be liked by everybody. You don't want to sit down and have a group coaching or a call or some and they don't like you. Hey, look, this hat. This has been the best $5 I have ever spent, y'all. Like people look at a hat, and they either go, "Hell no," right, or they go, "Oh yeah, I got to check this out. I got to figure this out." And then you add all the all-star people around me, and they're like, that doesn't make sense. He must be rich. Like he's paying people to be his buddy. But it's because I want to repel people. I spent so much time wasted trying to convince and fit in. That didn't work. So now I'm just attracting people who feel like me on the inside. They don't have to look like me on the outside. And I think that's where you ladies understand the most. All three of you, there's you can see deeper than all this, right? You can, if you capture the heart, you capture the person. Now it becomes a question. Once they know, like, and trust each other, now it's just value. Now it's business. Now it is marketing. It is sales. But get through all that crap. Connect with people first, and then you can be picky. I connect with certain people because it's advantageous in my business mission because I can help people, right? I always talk about bald people haircuts. I know, but look, we have to market to people. I don't sell, if you're diabetic, I'm not selling bags of candy. I mean, it's goofy. So just be nice to people, target people, and also be nice to your non-market, right? Like that's not my ideal client. It's LinkedIn, dude. It takes 5 seconds to say hi once a month to make that, because guess what? They'll talk to your target market and they will refer you because you're top of mind and you're not a rude person. Simple. Y'all chime in. We're about done here.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you living in a cave? Like, here's the thing. Even if they're not your target market, they know people.
Right.
They're not alone. They're not on an island. Like, they have communication. They know people. And I think 100% what you were saying about you actually want to start scaring people away. So will your ROI and your conversion rate go up? Absolutely. Because the people that don't resonate with you, that aren't the people that you're speaking to, that don't care for your authentic style, they go away. They go away. And so then it may overall shrink your impressions or your audience from like a social media standpoint. But at the end of the day, they're so much more honed in and engaged that of course you're going to do better because it's your people. It's the people that you're aligned with that resonate with you. And so that's in fact, it's actually helpful. It's not about the numbers. It's not about having 30,000 followers. It's about having 300 people that just love you, trust you, are all about you, and follow everything you do and want to recommend you to everybody they know. That's so much more compelling and engaging and going to raise your business on so many levels.
And it comes back to values, yeah. Quality.
Yeah, Christine.
Quality is the values. It's literally, and I actually did a show with Sarah on her podcast, and it was all about the values and understanding our own values, and that is what makes us authentic, and we align with other people that we share values with.
She beat me to it. I forget that she does snappy chats. Like she's a pro. Like she's like, I'm gonna beat you to it, Mike. That's exactly what the hell I was gonna ask. So what Mark Reed brought this up in his question. Again, your values should show up in your authenticity, right? Like, what's your take on that? Sierra, Sleepy Sia.
You gotta know what they are. I mean, this is the thing, and Christine really works with people to get them to hone in on that. But I see it in a little bit more esoteric way with people. But if you don't know who you are, if you don't have any sense of yourself, then you won't be able to pinpoint what your values are. And so it's kind of chicken or the egg. Can you get somebody to help you be able to pinpoint your values first to help give you framework for figuring out the rest of you? Absolutely. But it's probably easier if you figure out who you are first and then try and identify your values. But I'll let Christine jump in on that because that's really her wheelhouse.
Well, I just think, I've done 15,000 interviews or more over 25 years around the world with people, yeah. And it just comes back to again and again, as you get to know people, interviewing them, it's all about who they really are, and it shows up in their behavior. Even if they can't always pinpoint it, it comes through in their behavior. We act how, our values is how we behave. Otherwise, it's just nice marketing words, yeah, that some big brands put up there. We stand for this X, Y, Z, but the way they're behaving ain't that way, yeah. And therefore it's not authentic. So when it comes to understanding our values, we've got to look at how we're behaving and then really get clear on, is that us or is that what we've learned? And then once we get clear on that, we will start behaving that way. And that way we'll also again attract people who share or appreciate those values as well, which is where the attraction comes in naturally.
I value Sia because she looks like she's so like I want to give her like a sleeping bag and a little nap and one of those little glasses that you can't see through. You know what I'm talking about, to go over your face. What the hell is that? The sleep mask? Yeah. All right. So, ladies, you all are.
I'm reading these great comments, Mike. Okay. If I could just make one comment, you guys.
All right.
You guys are so pure in what you're saying. Like I can totally hear it and feel it. And the comments are like going crazy. Commenters, audience, just a heads up. You guys are like typing like big ass long like summaries, which are beautiful, but like for some like I can't post it. Like Susanna, I love you, but this is gonna take up like everyone's like space and face. Like I can't show that. And yeah, I love it. It's great.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I'm laughing to myself. You guys, this is a really thoughtful, really thoughtful. I mean, Scott Raven, you brought up something that cracked me up. If you want to be liked by everyone, sell ice cream. Even then, you can't, because I just found out very sadly as I've gotten older, I am now lactose intolerant. I now have to not love ice cream anymore unless the rest of you will pay for it. So yes, it's
but the trend. I have worked on big ice cream brands like Ben and Jerry, and the trend is going towards non-dairy ice cream. Yeah, so you're going to be good.
It's not the same. Not the same.
Actually, I tried some of them. Are really good in New Zealand. That I went to do research for Ben and Jerry there, and I tried some really nice one in New Zealand. It's coming. I promise you.
No, nobody wants no coconut milk ice cream. You keep that out of here in the South. Thank you. All
fair
right.
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, you keep that over. All right.
Y'all are still churning it down there in your ice and salt.
Yeah, with like we do our laundry the same way we do the ice cream with the big stick and the big paddle. All right, so ladies, you guys are phenomenal, man. We got to have a round 2 on this one soon because people are loving it. They type like crazy. Sia's been smiling ear to ear. Dude, this is a good sign. So let me ask you this. Best question for last. My favorite question. And I'm going to hit Sia with this. Get ready, Sia. Christine, what is your best advice? So someone out there right now, they don't feel comfortable with themselves, right? They don't really know who they are. They just feel they sure as hell ain't going to tell nobody. What's a baby step? What's your best advice? What to do right now to move that needle ever so slightly? What do you say?
Okay, I wasn't sure whether you were going to ask Sia or me, but I heard both names. So I'll try and say the first thing is to, that worked for me was actually getting a coach. I know we don't always have the money for it, but I found having someone like Sia or someone else who's great at really talking to us through in terms of what's going on with ourselves so we can start healing some of our limiting beliefs is really, really powerful in terms of starting to see ourselves in a different light. So you got to get rid of that the critical voice. I'm sure a lot of us recognize it. That one has to go. It has to become your supportive voice. And for me, I needed a coach, but that's what I did.
And the voice in my head sounds like Sia, so I don't mess with it too much. Look at her, womp womp. All right. So Sierra, same question to you, man. Somebody out there is stuck, or they just down on themselves, or it's hard to do this work. So what's one little baby step that could just nudge them into maybe another baby step? What do you say?
I say a teeny tiny little baby step is to just start to pay attention to when something doesn't feel great. when something comes out of your mouth or you made a decision and you start to realize, God, I feel like I'm doing this because I have to, or this feels really heavy to me, like this is a lot of pressure, it's extra responsibility that I don't need right now. Just start to try and have some awareness about how your decisions and your actions, your behaviors are actually feeling to you, and then be curious about them. Well, why does this make me feel heavy? And just ask yourself some questions. And you don't have to make like a big freaking deal about it. Just a little bit, try and work on the awareness, get curious about where that feeling has come from or why that feels like extra weight, pressure, and you'll start to see your answers come through. They'll come through.
Yeah, Sia, if you have a comment to, because I love everything about it. Just I've been there, dude. That's what I'm saying. We've all been here. Don't think that we're trying to be some guru or some, Dr. Phil's on the Hounds business. We have been there. And that's the thing. So many people that support you and have expertise and experience and can guide you or point you the right way. Um, I have grown more this year than I have grown probably my whole life, on all levels, because I'm surrounded by such amazing people. So, Sia, you've always got sage advice, man.
Yeah.
What is your little baby step advice to get, because you are a tough, people can resonate with you. You're a tough person. You're very, on point with stuff, and you got it going on. You're tough. So speak to that audience, because you're not bulletproof. They suffer too. What do you think? Baby step.
Yeah, I'm definitely not bulletproof. No, I think a baby step for anybody, especially on the path of entrepreneurship, it is a very lonely place to be. And even if you're a corporate employee, okay, even if you're an intrapreneur, if you want to do it, the first step is look, seriously, just say, I love you. Like, look in the mirror and look at yourself and say, you are loved. I love you. I know it sounds corny. It is one small thing, but if you say it repeatedly over time when you wake up in the morning, or if it's just you're having a hard time or you're having self-doubt, like literally look at yourself in the mirror, and you can laugh. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's an exercise where you start really truly believing it, and or you crack yourself up that breaks you out of that whatever downward spiral that we typically do. So that'd be my first step, is literally look in the mirror and say I love you. And you could be like corny like me and just be like love you. Do whatever makes you happy. But once you start really believing that you can accomplish things, those baby steps get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? You can take little baby steps at a time, or the strides get a little bit further along. And the other thing too is, and I say this all the time, if you don't have your own boardroom of colleagues, friends, mentors, and they don't have to be mentors, your own boardroom of people, diverse backgrounds, diverse age groups, diverse experiences, when you are in those down moments, you can accomplish so much more. And each person will have their strength for you. So love yourself. And if you're in an authentic, community, they will be there to support you because they love who you are, not what you represent or pretend to be.
Can I just say
Yeah,
something?
no.
We all have superpowers,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. We gotta remember what our superpowers are, and really remember that we are special and we're different, and it's good.
Yeah.
I love that.
And when I'm not good at, Sia's good at, and vice versa. And then Raquel fills in holes on everybody. And, that's the dynamic. And if you learn to play along, practice your kindergarten skills, Hounds of Business, that's what that means. That, like, we don't care about none of the nonsense. I don't care what color you are, what gender. I don't care about this stuff. I care about where the hell you are right now. All right. Where your heart is. And that's all I care about. Right. And so, oh, by the way, Sia said some bomb sage stuff. Like, she quoted some principle, because all I heard was finger guns. I said, nothing says I love you more than finger guns. Quote. And I'm going to put a post on it quoting the great Sia. Yes, a torn rat. You don't need, that's nothing says I love you like Shooter McGavin. Right. So, from Happy Gilmore. So, all right. I'm teasing you. Yeah, come on. All right. So, anybody got any, Sia, you good? Ladies, I think you were fantastic. You good, Sia?
I'm loving everything. And there's been some great comments and additions too. So yeah, no, everyone, thank you so much for your time. There's some folks I didn't even get to. That's a huge.
Yeah, yeah, but real quick, like Wyatt, there's people I haven't seen before. There's Brett Boggs, man, he's been here for a long time, and Brett, I can relate to you. There's Mark, man, so many. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you, Hounds. Thank you, future Hounds. Listen, if you're a stray out there and you don't belong or fit in, or maybe you just want, something a little different, that's come to the right place. If you're an entrepreneur, big hearted, you have something that's, service to provide, lives to change. Dadgummit, you came to the right place, man. DM me. I'm in there. Raquel's in there. So many Hounds, Nicole, Sia. Man, send us a DM, a carrier pigeon. I don't care. Listen, just get up and do something. If we're not your cup of tea, say la vie. I'll send you somewhere better, right? Like, I just want you to start winning and quit being stuck. Man, life's too damn short for that. I've done it for too long. So love you guys. You practice what you preach. Thank you for showing value. Christine.
I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you. And what I love about the Hounds of Business community is you are full of people who are just genuinely kind and heart-centered. And I just love it. And that is authentic, and I love it. And from there, we can all be together. Like Sia is saying, it's important to have a group of people around you because it's a lonely place. Yeah. So come to the Hounds of Business. I love it. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sierra. Thank you, Sia. Man, thanks everybody. I'm just going to thank everybody. But yeah, send me a DM. All right, check us out. Find out what we're, good. If you're an entrepreneur, small business, big business, it doesn't matter. Maybe you're not even in business. You hate your job, but secretly you want to get the hell out of it. Like, hey, come here. All right, we just want to do stuff together, man. And no stranger danger. Restore the dadgum integrity behind the principles. It's not the stuff you see out there you have a problem with. It's the dishonest way it's being done. And we're not perfect, but that's our number one thing, man. We're trying to put up a screen and keep as many flies out of that damn window as we can. And that's what we are about. And we also want to collaborate and work with the best. So love you guys. Have a great one. Catch us on the next one. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Don't forget Business Bets and Buddies at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Oh, and I will show up on Saturday and forget that Raquel's not going to be here. I bet y'all. And I will record it for you if I do it. All right. So no Raquel's show. Give that woman a break. Y'all let her rest. She's earned it. Okay. Thank you, Miss Raquel Flores. Hounds, man, y'all have a great one. We're going to round it up. See you on the next one. See ya.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.